What if I told you that 99.9% of everything you've been taught about creating your dream life is scientifically backwards? Right now, millions of Americans are sitting in their apartments in Brooklyn, their suburban homes in Texas, grinding through the same old manifestation techniques that haven't worked for decades, visualizing, affirming, trying to think positive while completely missing the revolutionary breakthrough that quantum physics has handed us on a silver platter. Dr. Joe Dispenza has spent over 2 decades proving that the ancient mystics were right all along. Your consciousness doesn't just observe reality, it literally creates it at the subatomic level. But here's the kicker that'll make you question everything you thought you knew. Most people trying to manifest abundance and prosperity are actually sabotaging themselves by focusing on what they want instead of becoming who they need to be. They're operating from the same old identity that created their current problems, expecting different results. It's like trying to tune into a classical music station while your radio is still set to heavy metal. You're never going to get clear reception because you're broadcasting on the wrong frequency entirely. The spiritual gurus won't tell you this because it would destroy their entire business model, but manifestation isn't about wanting something badly enough or repeating affirmations until you're blue in the face. It's about understanding that you are a walking, talking quantum field generator capable of collapsing wave functions into physical reality through the precise alignment of your brain coherence, heart magnetism, and conscious awareness. This isn't mystical mumbo-jumbo, this is cutting-edge neuroscience meeting ancient wisdom in ways that would make Einstein himself do a double take. What we're about to explore together will shatter every limiting belief you've ever had about what's possible for your life. We're going to dive into the actual quantum mechanics of consciousness, the measurable electromagnetic fields your heart generates, and the specific brain states that allow you to access what mystics call the field of all possibilities. By the end of this journey, you'll understand why some people seem to effortlessly attract success, love, and abundance while others struggle for decades with the same old patterns. The question isn't whether quantum physics can explain manifestation, it already does. The question is whether you're ready to evolve beyond the outdated methods that keep most people stuck in cycles of lack and limitation. Because once you understand how to align your consciousness with the fundamental laws of the universe, there's no going back to being a passive observer of your life. You'll become the conscious creator you were always meant to be, backed by the most powerful force in existence, the infinite creative intelligence of the quantum field itself. What if everything you've been told about reality is fundamentally wrong? Picture this, you're sitting in your favorite coffee shop in downtown Chicago, touching that solid wooden table, feeling its weight and texture. But here's what'll blow your mind, that table you're touching is 99.99999% empty space. Einstein himself said it best, reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. The atoms that make up everything around you, your smartphone, your car, even the Golden Gate Bridge, are mostly just vibrating energy fields dancing in quantum physics patterns that would make your head spin. Max Planck, the godfather of quantum theory, discovered something that shook the entire scientific community to its core. He proved that what we call matter is just energy vibrating at different frequencies, like cosmic radio stations tuning into different channels of creation. When you really dive into the expansion of consciousness that quantum physics reveals, you realize that your morning coffee mug isn't solid at all, it's a collection of energy waves creating the illusion of solidity through pure vibration and frequency patterns. Think about this for a second. Nobel Prize winner Anton Zeilinger demonstrated that particles can exist in multiple places simultaneously until someone observes them. That's like saying your divine spark can be in New York and Los Angeles at the same time, choosing which reality to collapse into based on your spiritual energy and awareness. This isn't some mystical mumbo-jumbo, this is cutting-edge science proving what ancient mystics have known for centuries about the nature of our universe and our role as conscious creators within it. The implications for your spiritual journey are absolutely mind-blowing when you grasp this concept. Neville Goddard taught that imagination creates reality, and now quantum physics backs him up with hard evidence. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, is literally reshaping the energy field around you, influencing the very fabric of space and time in ways that would make scientists from just 50 years ago think you'd lost your marbles. But here's where it gets really interesting. If everything is just energy and vibration, then what does that say about your ability to create abundance and prosperity in your life? When you understand that the universe is more like a vast ocean of possibilities than a fixed, unchanging structure, you start to realize that co-creation isn't just possible, it's inevitable. The question isn't whether you're creating your reality, the question is whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously, and that awareness opens up possibilities that most people can't even imagine. So if reality is just energy waiting to be shaped, how do you actually tap into this invisible field where all possibilities exist? Joe Dispenza cracked the code on this one, and it's simpler than you might think, but don't mistake simple for easy. Here's the deal, right now, as you're reading this, your attention is scattered across a million different things, your phone buzzing with notifications, that meeting you have at 3 p.m., whether you remembered to pay your Netflix subscription. Your consciousness is fragmented, bouncing between past regrets and future anxieties like a pinball machine gone haywire. The ancient mystics knew something that modern science is just catching up to. When you withdraw your attention from your body, from time, and from space, something magical happens. You become what Eckhart Tolle calls pure consciousness, no longer tied to your identity as John from Denver or Sarah from Miami. You transcend from being somebody to becoming nobody, from something to nothing, and that's precisely when you gain access to everything. It's like stepping out of a tiny apartment into an endless mansion you never knew existed. Think about it this way: imagine your regular state of consciousness is like being trapped in a single radio station that only plays the same old songs from your past. But when you let go of your attachment to your body, that aching back, those tired eyes, your environment, that cluttered desk, that traffic outside, and time, yesterday's drama, tomorrow's deadlines, you suddenly become a cosmic antenna capable of tuning into infinite frequencies. This is where the real magic of quantum physics meets spirituality, in that space of pure awareness where your divine spark connects directly to the universal field of possibilities. Joe Dispenza teaches that in this state, you're no longer operating from survival mode. You're not worried about paying rent in Los Angeles or finding parking in Manhattan. You've transcended the mundane concerns that keep most people locked in patterns of lack and limitation. Instead, you're vibrating at the frequency of creation itself, where thoughts become things and energy transforms into matter. This isn't just spiritual bypassing. This is practical quantum mechanics applied to consciousness and personal evolution. But here's what most people miss: accessing this field isn't about escaping reality, it's about becoming so present, so aware, that you can consciously participate in the creation of reality. When you master this practice of becoming pure consciousness, you stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming the architect of your experience. And once you taste that level of spiritual energy and co-creation, there's no going back to being a passive observer of your life. Now here's where things get really fascinating. Your brain isn't just some biological computer sitting in your skull. It's actually a sophisticated quantum transmitter capable of broadcasting your intentions directly into the universe. Most people walk around with their brains operating like a broken radio, with different regions firing chaotically, creating nothing but static and interference. But when you achieve what neuroscientists call brain coherence, something extraordinary happens. Your entire brain begins to resonate as one unified network, like a perfectly tuned orchestra playing the same symphony of creation. Picture this: instead of your brain cells chattering away independently like a crowded New York subway station, they start synchronizing their electrical patterns, creating powerful, organized waves that ripple through the quantum field. Joe Dispenza's research shows that when your brain reaches this coherent state, it becomes mathematically precise, generating intentional electrical signals that can literally influence the fabric of reality. It's like upgrading from a weak AM radio to a high-powered broadcast station that can reach across continents with crystal-clear reception. This isn't just feel-good spirituality, this is measurable neuroplasticity in action. When your brain achieves coherence during meditation or deep focus, the neural networks that usually keep you stuck in old patterns start rewiring themselves. Think of it like renovating a house. Instead of having each room operating on its own electrical system, you're installing a unified power grid that allows every part of your consciousness to work together. Your higher self starts communicating more clearly with your conscious mind, creating that magical alignment where inspiration flows effortlessly. The practical implications for manifestation are mind-blowing when you understand this process. Most people try to create abundance and prosperity from a fragmented mental state, part of them believing it's possible while another part doubts, part of them visualizing success while another part worries about failure. But when your brain operates in coherence, every neuron is literally vibrating at the same frequency of intention. You're no longer sending mixed signals to the universe, you're broadcasting a clear, powerful transmission of exactly what you want to create. What's even more incredible is that this brain coherence doesn't just affect your internal state, it actually changes the electromagnetic field around your body. Scientists have measured how a coherent brain generates stronger bioelectric fields that can influence the quantum field in ways we're just beginning to understand. When your thoughts become organized and your spiritual energy aligns, you're essentially turning your entire nervous system into a precision instrument for co-creation. And that's when the real magic of conscious evolution begins to unfold in ways that will surprise you. But here's what'll really blow your mind: while your brain is busy becoming a quantum transmitter, your heart is operating as something even more powerful, a massive magnetic field generator that extends far beyond your physical body. Joe Dispenza's research reveals that your heart creates an electromagnetic field that's 3 times stronger than your brain's electrical field, reaching out like invisible arms that can literally pull your desired reality toward you. Think of your heart not just as a pump for blood, but as the ultimate manifestation magnet, capable of attracting experiences, people, and opportunities that match its vibrational signature. Most people in America walk around with their hearts closed off, protected from disappointment, guarded against betrayal, shut down from past relationships that didn't work out in Seattle or Phoenix. But when you learn to open your heart and generate the feeling of love, gratitude, and appreciation for your future before it even arrives, something incredible happens. You're literally broadcasting a magnetic signal into the quantum field that says, "I'm ready to receive abundance, prosperity, and joy." It's like sending out a cosmic invitation to the universe, written in the language of pure emotion and spiritual energy. Here's a practical example that'll make this crystal clear. Instead of trying to manifest a new house by just thinking about it, imagine falling deeply in love with that future home, feeling the gratitude for the morning sunlight streaming through the windows, the joy of hosting friends for dinner, the peace of having your own sanctuary. When you can generate those elevated emotions consistently, your heart starts producing what scientists call coherent frequencies that literally reorganize the energy field around you. You're not just hoping for change, you're becoming an energetic magnet for the experiences you desire. Joe Dispenza teaches that love is the ultimate creative force in the universe. It's literally the glue that holds atoms together and the power that expands galaxies. When you can embody pure love for your future, not because you need it to be happy, but because you're already whole and complete, you access what ancient mystics called divine love. This isn't romantic love or needy attachment. This is the kind of love that comes from recognizing yourself as an extension of source energy, capable of co-creating realities that serve your highest good and the good of others. The most beautiful part of this process is that when your heart becomes coherent and starts broadcasting love, you stop chasing after your desires and they start flowing toward you naturally. People begin showing up in your life who can help you, opportunities present themselves at perfect timing, and synchronicities become so frequent that you can't ignore the fact that you're actively participating in the creation of your reality. Your heart becomes the conductor of an invisible orchestra, harmonizing the quantum field to play the exact symphony of experiences you've chosen to live. And this is where everything we've talked about comes together in the most beautiful way. When your brain achieves coherence, your heart opens to love, and you access that pure consciousness state, you begin vibrating at the exact same frequency as the possibility you want to experience. It's like tuning into a specific radio station in the quantum field where your desired reality already exists, just waiting for you to match its frequency. Joe Dispenza calls this becoming the person who already has what you want, and when you truly embody this vibration, the physical world has no choice but to reorganize itself to match your energetic signature. Here's when you know you've hit that sweet spot. Synchronicities start showing up everywhere, like cosmic breadcrumbs leading you toward your manifestation. You'll be thinking about starting a new business in Austin, and suddenly you meet someone at a coffee shop who just happens to be looking for exactly the kind of partner you'd be. You'll be visualizing your dream home in California, and then your real estate agent calls with a listing that perfectly matches what you've been imagining. These aren't coincidences, they're evidence that you've successfully aligned your spiritual energy with a specific possibility in the quantum field. The most incredible part about reaching this vibrational alignment is that you stop chasing your desires. Instead, they start flowing toward you effortlessly. Neville Goddard taught that when you truly assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you don't need to figure out the how anymore. Your job isn't to control every detail of the manifestation, your job is to maintain the frequency of already having it. It's like being a magnet that's been properly charged. You don't have to chase metal objects. They're naturally drawn to you through the invisible force of attraction. When you're vibrating in harmony with your desired reality, something fascinating happens to your relationship with time and space. Past traumas and limiting beliefs start dissolving because you're no longer energetically compatible with those old patterns. You might find that childhood wounds that used to trigger you just don't have the same emotional charge anymore. Old stories about not being worthy of abundance or love simply fall away because you're now embodying a completely different energetic identity, one that knows itself as a divine spark capable of co-creation. The ultimate proof that you've mastered this process is when you reach a state of complete detachment from the outcome while simultaneously knowing with absolute certainty that it's already yours. You're not anxious about when it will show up or worried about whether it will happen. You're simply living from the end result, allowing the universe to orchestrate the perfect timing and circumstances. This is where quantum physics meets pure spirituality, where science validates what the mystics have always known. You are not just observing reality, you are actively participating in its creation through the very act of conscious awareness and intentional vibration. So here's the million-dollar question that's going to determine whether you spend the next decade stuck in the same old patterns or finally break through to become the conscious creator you were born to be. Are you going to keep playing small, pretending that you're just a victim of circumstances, or are you ready to step into your power as a quantum field generator? Because everything we've just explored together isn't just interesting theory, it's a roadmap to completely revolutionize your relationship with reality itself. The science is clear, the principles are proven, and the only thing standing between you and the life of your dreams is your willingness to evolve beyond the limited identity that got you to where you are today. Look, I get it, part of you might be thinking this sounds too good to be true, or maybe you're wondering if you're really capable of mastering these quantum principles. But here's what I need you to understand: every single person who has ever created extraordinary abundance, prosperity, and joy in their lives has used these exact same universal laws, whether they knew it or not. The difference is that now you have the scientific backing, the step-by-step process, and the understanding of how your brain coherence and heart magnetism work together to collapse possibilities into physical reality. You're no longer operating on hope and wishful thinking, you're working with the fundamental forces that govern the universe. The real question isn't whether this works. Joe Dispenza has documented thousands of cases of people healing their bodies, attracting their soulmates, and creating financial breakthroughs using these exact principles. The question is whether you're going to take action on what you've learned today, or if you're going to let this knowledge sit in your head while you go back to the same old manifestation techniques that haven't worked for you so far. Because knowledge without application is just sophisticated entertainment, and you didn't come this far to stay where you are. Your higher self is calling you to step into a new level of spiritual energy and co-creation that most people will never even attempt. So what's it going to be? Are you ready to start practicing brain coherence every morning, opening your heart to love your future into existence, and accessing that pure consciousness state where miracles become normal? Are you prepared to let go of your attachment to how things have always been and embrace the quantum field of infinite possibilities? Because once you make that commitment to yourself, once you decide that you're worth the effort it takes to align with the frequency of your dreams, there's no limit to what you can create. Your spiritual journey is just beginning, and the universe is waiting to co-create magic with someone who understands the rules of the game. If this resonates with you and you're ready to dive deeper into the practical application of quantum physics for manifestation, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. We're going to be exploring advanced techniques for accessing higher dimensions of consciousness, specific meditation practices for achieving brain coherence, and real-world case studies of people who've transformed their lives using these principles. Don't let this be just another video you watched. Let it be the moment you decided to evolve into the conscious creator you were always meant to be.